Appreciate everybody coming out, and really that goes for the entire off season. You know, you guys turning out to cover our off season program, and something we've been excited about the participation. We've gotten a lot of work done, over 650 plus reps combined that the guys can hopefully log and take them with them to training camp when we start really dive into the competition phase, and ultimately try to really carve out what this team's going to look like for 2023. Excited about this group and the work they've put in. I know a lot of you guys might have some questions regarding Danielle and his absence. The only thing I would just say is I've got all the respect in the world for Danielle as a player, a leader, a person on our team. Those situations, we always, I know I don't want to speak for Kwesi, but we feel very strongly about being solution oriented with everything that comes about, and this example, just like a lot of the other ones that have come up, will do the same, and we hope to have continued dialogue and have a really positive outcome. And then lastly, I did want to touch on Dalvin Cook and just my appreciation for Dalvin, not only what he meant to me in year one as the head coach of this team, but what he'll mean to me forever in my coaching journey. His leadership, his work ethic, what he meant to our football team in 2022, but much farther back than that, with his impact on our organization, and will forever go down as one of the great running backs in Vikings history. And just have all the respect for Dalvin, his family, and I know there's great things out ahead of him. I'm a fan of his forever, and as I told him the other day, I really hope he finds a great situation that he can continue to thrive in, and there'll be some really exciting moments out in front of him. But just wanted to make sure I touched on that with you guys here, on site today. But with that, I'll turn it over to you guys.
Kevin, do you get involved at all? You talk about contracts. What's the head coach's role in that? Do you get involved, or you just say, you try to stay in touch with guys? How does that play?
Yeah, I mean, we, for the most part, I try to be involved as much as I possibly can. I am quite honestly not smart enough to deal with some numbers that big, or the salary cap and all those things. But my role is to continue, obviously, to coach our football team, work in conjunction with Kwesi and Rob and the rest of our front office to do whatever I can to help out any situation that comes up, making sure that all 90 guys on our football team are not only excited about their roles and where we're going to go as a team, but hopefully, me being the head coach and the guy out in front trying to lead the charge, they always look to me. Even in some of those moments, I want to be there for our guys, and it's important to always try to do that. It's easier said than done sometimes, but I think they know me well enough to know now, whether through phone calls or text messages, the dialogue, I'm always going to stay in contact, and that they know with as many times as I've tried to explain it to them, how much I do care about them each individually and what they pour into it for our team and our organization.
The situation with Danielle is resolvable to the point where he comes back here?
Yeah, I would like to think so. When I say solution oriented, that is definitely one of the solutions that hopefully we can work towards. But obviously, when you've been here for one season and you've really formed relationships and bonds, those are really strong, Kevin. But he's played for the Vikings for a lot longer than I've been here, and whatever has kind of transpired over the years that helped form the current relationship, positive as it may be. My role is, like I said, continuing to coach our team and try to help shape not only the roles for each one of our players, Danielle included, but how it all comes together. And that's where I try to work hand in hand with Kwesi. But I definitely see that as a real outcome. But there's a lot to be determined there, and I want to be very sensitive to allowing that process to play out, for both our organization and for Danielle.
Your team is it to get Justin back and kind of with the guys and in the flow?
Yeah, I mean, I told him this morning, you can just tell when he's walking the halls in our building, just the energy and the juice that he brings. He was in great shape moving around today, like I expected him to be. Mentally still really sharp. I mean, we're quite a few installs in on formations and certain plays, and he was able to jump right back in there and really kind of absorb some of the new things we're doing, as well as his role, which is a pretty special one in our offense.
Kevin, in Dalvin's absence now, do you see Alexander playing a Dalvin-sized role, or do you visualize more of a rotation?
I feel really good about our running back room, and Alex Madison is a huge reason why. I think he's proven that he can, whether over the past few years when he stepped in there, handling a really good workload and producing, and also just in our short term together, his ability to handle the roles and responsibilities of that position in our offense. So I feel great about where Alex is at. The next step in his career is just obviously a little bit more consistent opportunities, which we hope to provide for him. And then with Kene and Ty and obviously the rookie, we want to allow a real competition to take place. We feel that there's talented guys behind Alex that can provide roles within our offense where maybe depending on down and distance, but depending on situation of the game, we could get some different guys in there, but all knowing that it's about that complete group being able to do everything we ask of them every single snap, both in the run and the pass game.
Kevin, with these couple days you have with Justin here after not seeing him in person, what kinds of things do you try to get done just between you and him in the 2 days you have in person before he heads out?
Yeah, spending some dialogue, talking about, maybe, some of my thoughts for where we want to go with things. I have the ability to communicate with him as I have throughout the offseason of, hey, I'm thinking of doing this. What do you think about this formation? Or have you ever thought about maybe running this route off this stem? Or how would you work with KJ in this combination? Whatever it may be, just continuing that dialogue. And then like all of our players, whether you're talking about the totality of the offseason program or even a 2-day mini camp, what can we do as coaches and Tyler and Uriah and Josh to make sure we're doing our part to make sure guys feel great going into training camp? Because we've had a good offseason. We've gotten quite a bit of competitive work in the 2-minute and 7-on-7s. And then our team, with just a slightly lower tempo, it's still been fantastic work making sure guys are prepared both above the neck and then obviously technique and fundamentals. This sport is about a lot of things, but in the end, it's about doing your job and doing it with consistency exactly how you're being coached to do it at a world-class level every single snap, and how many times you can do that is normally determined by your preparedness to do it, and I feel like our team's in a good place for that.
Personnel and play call-wise, with the changes, Kevin, how much more can you do? Like how much more is, I don't know if it's all introduced at this camp, but it feels like the changes are going to allow you as a play caller a little bit more freedom than potentially the personnel did last year. Is that an accurate assessment?
Yeah, I think so. I think anytime you have personnel versatility, Judd, it's a way you can apply pressure. And what I mean by that is how many different guys in different roles that, in the run and pass game, can we apply pressure to the defense with different types of ways that you've got to defend us, meaning there's no rule that, you can't put 3 tight ends out there. There's no rule that C.J. Ham can't be aligned in the backfield one play and extended out in the formation on the next. There's no rule when you're really moving around a featured player like Justin or like TJ, KJ, Josh Oliver. When you start throwing out these names, you really start saying to yourself, okay, how are we being defended? Or more than likely, what are the multiple ways we're being defended? And then what ultimately can we control as coaches and me as a play caller to consistently give our guys advantages within all 22 guys out on the field and how they're deploying defenses and how we're deploying our guys. And then how does it all fit in with giving Kirk as many answers to the test as we possibly can based upon how we want to activate the whole picture. But it's a lot goes into it. It's a good question, and it's something that I spend a lot of time on. And then you get to the season and the ebbs and flows of a season. One defensive scheme and structure and personnel can be totally different the very next week. You might be on a short week. You might have extra time to prepare, which sometimes can be the kiss of death for me. But ultimately, it's about making sure that week in and week out when that ball gets kicked off, that we've done our part as a coaching staff to have success, not only offensively, but all 3 phases of our team. I think Flo's done a phenomenal job installing his defense, the mindset, the personality that comes with Brian Flores, which I'm so excited about. And then Matt Daniels has picked up right where he left off with that special teams group that, as you guys know, was critical in us winning 13 games a year ago.
Do you expect Jordan Addison to be ready from the start of camp?
I do. Yeah, we've had a plan in place for him and continuing to kind of build up to where he'll be. He'll be spending quite a bit of time continuing his playbook. He's been phenomenal in meetings and out here asking great questions when they come up. But my expectation is that Jordan will be full when we get going in late July.
From a national perspective, there's been a lot of takes on what the Vikings have kind of done this offseason in terms of some pretty significant players moving on and different things. And I'm just curious how you sort of articulate the direction you guys have taken and what it means for 2023 and beyond in your mind in terms of what you guys have done.
Yeah, I think for me, as far as future years and things like that, I know that there's a reason for everything that we want to do ultimately in the short term and in the long term. But I do believe that my job is to coach this football team to compete every opportunity we get. And part of that is, as you guys know, I have great dialogue with our team. I talk to our team about, intent, purpose, what we're trying to get accomplished both in, this next meeting, this next practice, this week, this off-season program, this training camp, all the way on through. And part of that is challenging this group that, I'm very well aware of some of the leadership that we've lost on our team and have really challenged some guys to step up. And really, kind of harness those things from a lot of great players that they learned from over the years, and become that next group of guys that can maintain a standard of not just culture, not just X's and O's, but overall how we want our organization to function. And as I told them when we ended today, I can stand up and say a lot of things, but ultimately what I look for is the ability to provide these players with that player ownership feel. Because when they feel that and they're that committed to the process that we put in place, and as long as you articulate what you want as the head coach, my experience, especially with our group, is they're going to respond. And this spring has been about that, and I hope then when Vikings fans come out for training camp, they see the same thing out here on the grass. And really looking forward to how we have training camp set up with a couple joint practices and a great opportunity to really make use of our beautiful facility here.
Ago about expecting the cornerback competition to be pretty high level. Just what have you seen from that group, and how is that kind of stacked up to?
You said the corner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've already seen the benefit of the depth of the guys we've added. Some guys coming back from some injuries last year. We feel like we've got a strong group of guys competing to be in that first group. And Byron Murphy's done a phenomenal job both as an outside and an inside corner, really kind of setting the tone for that group, which has been really cool to see. And then the young guys are coming along, not just, Makai and some of the guys from this year's rookie class, but Andrew Booth and Caleb are having good springs. And then we bring in Jawan and, a couple other guys there that allow you to truly see what it looks like. We're playing a lot of personnel groupings and just trying to mix and match with our safety group to ultimately see how we can get the best 11 on the field regardless of situation of the game, run or pass, and then let Flo take it from there with his call and how we want to try to play defensively. So a lot to be determined. It's been a teaching phase, brand new defense, but our players know that time is coming to an end and the competition phase will begin, and I'm very much looking forward to that.
Last few questions.
Did you have any favorites from Jersey Day today?
I did. Well, Byron Murphy ended up winning the best jersey. He actually went with a head-to-toe authentic Memphis Grizzlies Mike Bibby uniform, and actually I believe that's his uncle, from what I've been told. But it was, as you guys know, whether it's captains, whether it's Jersey Day, the players vote, and he won that vote. There was some pretty special, unique, funny things, but I saw some Bobby Boucher's. Saw some Charlie Conways. I saw some different things. Quite a bit of throwback jerseys. Our guys have a good collection. But all Kirk's idea. That's his whole. That was his whole deal, and the guys took it and ran with it. You saw some staffers like yourself out here in jerseys as well. So our whole building got into a really cool thing. Just a cool way to end the off season. I went with a Anthony Edwards, kind of the gray. The gray Anthony Edwards was a gift to me. I'm a big fan of his, and kept it local, kept it hometown. I stayed away from. There was, in fact, a Kevin O'Connell San Diego State throwback worn by a coach that will not be named because I do not want to give him any sort of publicity for that stunt. But it was a fun day. And little things like that, they go a long way just to help in an off-season program where we've had great work in, just to see the guys laughing and smiling and come together. They've had, once a week, Kirk's been, meeting guys out for different, taking guys out for dinners around town. I'm sure Vikings fans have seen them somewhere around town, and they'll do it again tonight, but you'll just have to guess where that may in fact be. But all those little things are just examples of the players and our leadership taking it and running with it. But appreciate you guys again for coming out, and we'll see you at training camp.